Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. All right.
My guest this morning here on the WDHA Jersey Magazine is someone whose name is synonymous with baseball in the New York, New Jersey area, a radio host, a TV host. He's an author. Ed Randall, good morning and welcome.
Jim, good to be with you. Thank you so much. Glad to be with you on Jersey Magazine.
A couple of Bronx guys here. You're also, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you today, Ed. Ed is also the founder of Fans for the Cure, which is an organization, a nonprofit organization that promotes men's health by advocating for early detection of prostate cancer. And with September being Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, I wanted to break Ed on. Ed, who is most at risk for prostate cancer?
Men in their, we'd like to say in their 40s. I was diagnosed with prostate cancer at 47, Jim. So we encourage men to go get a simple blood test. Go to the doctor, get a simple blood test. And we suggest that men begin doing that in their 40s, especially if they have a history of prostate cancer in their family.
Why do men hate going to the doctor so much? And I'm guilty of it. I really am.
It's in the DNA. I think, the women are great. They really are the superior species, Jim. They talk amongst themselves. They form support groups informally with their families, with their, if a woman, God forbid, gets breast cancer, she's talking about it with her sister, her aunt, her mother. With men, it's, I feel fine. The problem with that is that if you are, God forbid, diagnosed with prostate cancer and you are experiencing pain, or let's take that back. You are not diagnosed with prostate cancer, but you are experiencing pain. And then after that, you go to the doctors, and God forbid, he says to you, you have prostate cancer. If you're experiencing pain, you're at stage 4 and you're going to die. There's an almost 99% cure rate of prostate cancer is detected early. I'm one of those lucky guys. And so we advocate from the bottom of our hearts that men understand that just because you feel good doesn't mean you are good. And I'm a case. My case is the way to look at this, because I was the guy who went to the doctors for a routine physical. If I could tell my story for a moment.
Sure.
The guy who went to the doctors for a routine annual physical. Doctor called me the next day. Thought it was going to be routine. Doctor calls me the next day and goes, Ed, your PSA is really high. Now, at this point in time, Jim, I've been broadcasting for a number of years like you, and my only definition of PSA was, repeat after me,
public service announcement.
Right. I've got no idea that this PSA is an indicia for prostate cancer. And John goes, why don't you come back and take another blood test? We'll send it to another lab. Maybe they made a mistake, which was the last thing I wanted to hear, because I've had a deathly fear of needles since the age of 5. But I have been vaccinated, just so you know. And so I came back, took a second PSA test, and the results of the second test were exactly those of the first. I was filled with cancer. My PSA was 17. And so we were off to the races. But had I waited, who knows? I felt fine. What do you mean I have cancer? What are you, crazy? I feel fine. Well, I had cancer, and I had a lot of cancer. And I'm one of that 99% that was able to detect it early. And thank God, since then, I've been fine.
How early did you catch it, Ed?
I don't know, Jim, but I can tell you this. John Cornwall, my GP at the time, never said to me the year before, when I went in for my routine annual physical, he never said to me, let's keep an eye on this. Nothing. I mean, just out of the blue, a safe falling on your head from the sky. No idea. But it was caught early. He told me that he was at the time affiliated with St. Luke's Roosevelt Hospital on the west side of Manhattan, and now gone, now part of the Mount Sinai network. And he put me in the very capable hands of Dr. Nicholas Romas, who was the chair of the urology department then at St. Luke's Roosevelt Hospital, world famous, a Greek god. And he told me that it had been caught early. Can I tell you another quick story?
Sure.
I've spent my life hanging around baseball, and I've been so lucky to be able to do something that I love. So after John Cornwall had flagged the cancer, sends me into the capable hands of Nick Romas and my oncologist, Paul Gleedman. And I'd go in to see Gleedman every Tuesday in the bowels of St. Luke's Roosevelt Hospital. And the question always every Tuesday was, Ed, how you feeling? And I'd say, well, to analogize what the great Lou Gehrig said, I'm feeling no symptoms. I consider myself the luckiest bastard on the face of the earth. I feel fine. So Romas had done some more tests, and he comes in. I'll never forget it. Comes in his lab coat, sits down in front of me in his office. Ed, you have cancer, but you have a lot of cancer, but we believe we've caught it early. You think, Jim, at that time of questions you never would have otherwise imagined asking. And so the first question I said to Nick Romas was, am I going to live? And he says, 90% that you are. So help me God, this is what I said. 90%. Whitey Ford was 9-1 his rookie year in 1950. That's a 900 winning percentage, and he's in the Hall of Fame. That's good. I like that. Second question, will it come back once you take it out? 70% that it won't. And I go, well, the inverse of that is 30%. Those guys who hit 300, they go to Cooperstown too. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Let's do it. And so we did. To this day, and I stay in touch with the sainted Nick Romas. He said he never had anybody ever ask him questions like that. Of course not. And I'm just very lucky. So after coming out on the other side of it, and saying to myself, you know what? There could be tens, hundreds, thousands, millions of guys like my case study that are out there feeling fine. And in fact, they could be time bombs like me. We got to get to those guys. And I'm answering your next three questions. So he says, so I said, you know what? We got to get to those guys. So filed a 501c3 back in late 2002. Now the charity called Fans for the Cure, dedicated to the proposition of spreading the lessons of prostate cancer awareness and the life-saving value of early detection. Again, an almost 99% cure rate of prostate cancer is detected early. And let me also add this. The incidence of prostate cancer in the African-American community is 2 to 3 times higher than it is in the white community. And we have put a particular focus on that, going into Black churches and having free prostate cancer screenings there and seminars. And unfortunately, this damn virus came along. We had a whiteboard full of events scheduled for March, April, and May of 2020 that we had to erase the board. But hopefully, when we are allowed to gather, we will be able to do this.
One of the events that Ed refers to is the baseball road trip. You've been in hundreds and hundreds of 1,200 baseball parks, right? Across the country, offering details and information for men. We joked before about the word pivot. Once COVID hit, how did you pivot to online? Because I know you do a bunch of online things now with the organization.
We said, let's do 2 or 3 good things a month, regardless of what's going on here when we're chained to our houses, our homes. And so we decided we would start a men's support group. And we made a lot of phone calls, sent a lot of emails, texts, whatever, social media. And that has become vastly successful. We meet on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. We have people that are joining us over Zoom from California and Arizona and Texas, the Carolinas, Florida, a lot of people locally, and it's wonderful. And now we've been doing it for so long, and these guys have gotten to know each other that they're actually contacting each other offline. And that's been just wonderful. We have a gentleman in Charleston, South Carolina, who went out to help my table at the Charleston River Dogs years ago, a Yankees farm club, and helped distribute material. Well, we got back in touch with Lee, and now he's brought two friends with him on Thursday nights. So we encourage our friends who join us that if they know anybody that could benefit from this, we welcome that. And then we decided, you know what? We had a gala, Jim, back in 2017, and a woman that we met who lives in New Jersey, and we got her to throw out a first pitch at the Trenton Thunder when it was still the Trenton Thunder, and we invited her. Her husband had a 10-year battle with prostate cancer before he passed away, and she stood at the gala and said, "When John got prostate cancer, I got prostate cancer." So we decided, you know, the men's support group is great. Why not start a women's support group for caregivers? Because of the experiences that they must have had that were not dissimilar to that of Karen's. And so we're doing that Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, and that's growing as well. So these are the kinds of things that we're doing until we can get out and resume the life that we had prior to COVID.
One of the things, and you're mentioning the support group. From my experience dealing, I had a bout with skin cancer. It was malignant, got it taken care of, thankfully. My mom had cancer, a couple of other family members and friends. When you hear the words, and you heard this yourself from a doctor, you have cancer. How long in these support groups does it take for that shock to wear off, where you're finally listening to each other's stories and what the doctors are telling you? How long does it take for you that shock to go away, Ed?
It varies, Jim, from case to case. I listen to some of the derivatives that these men have experienced after they've had their treatment, and they're still having problems. And I listen and I go, my God, I'm so lucky. This didn't happen to me, and this didn't happen to me, and this didn't happen to me. Like you said, when you hear the word, it's jarring. But what we're providing is comfort, trying to eliminate whatever fear there is, and let them know that you're not alone. Because, like you said, I feel fine. I feel fine. I feel fine. We were in Trenton, and I used to, like I said, we did 1,200 ballparks. So we were doing over 13 years, 13 seasons. And I would go to where I could go, and I would drive every place. I mean, I would drive to Harrisburg and back. I would drive to Reading and back. I would drive to the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs in Allentown and back. I drive up to Pawtucket, Rhode Island and back. So one day I'm in Trenton, relatively short trip, and a guy goes walking by the table, and he goes, "I'm good to go." And the guy we had people deployed around the ballpark handing out stuff as the gates had opened and people were walking in. And so this incredible feisty Irish guy, you'd love him, Jim, Nick Condon, and he had been treated at Johns Hopkins, and a guy with a heart of gold, but a temper. And so the guy goes walking by Nick. He doesn't take the stuff, and Nick goes, "Hey, Ed, you see that guy in the orange shirt? He's good to go." And he is. He's good to go to the next world. That's where he's good to go. And then I've had occasions when I'm behind the table and a guy, I'll never forget this, guy's walking by, he's got one in each hand, little kids, and he just glares at me. "Oh, don't do that." And he glares at me. So I come out from behind the table and I take my palm card at the time and I shove it under his left armpit because he's got one of the kids in his hand. And I said, "Do this for them." And that's one of the messages here. It's not about you. It's about doing it for your loved ones, because we need you here to walk your daughters down the aisle. We need you there for the birth of their babies. It is astonishing to me sometimes when you hear about people who have passed away from prostate cancer and you wonder, did they ever go to the doctor? When again, there's a 99% cure rate if prostate cancer is detected early, but we're going to lose 33,000 men in the calendar year 2021.
It's a staggering number.
And I've gone to spring training for 5 years, touring spring training camps, and I would tell the kids, usually it was very early in the morning, and I got 150 Detroit Tigers there, and I got 150 Tampa Bay Rays, and I got 150 St. Louis Cardinals, and I do all these camps in Arizona and in Florida, and I tell them, I'm the only CEO you're ever going to meet who hopes to go out of business. I hope by the time you guys get off the field today, there'll be a cure for prostate cancer, at which time I'm done. Until that time, you're to tell the men in your family, your fathers, your stepfathers, your uncles, your grandfathers, that they are loved and they are wanted and they are needed and they are cherished and they have a responsibility to take care of themselves, because we don't want any empty chairs on Thanksgiving.
Ed Randall's my guest this morning here on the Jersey Magazine at 105.5 WDHA. He's very passionate, obviously, about what he does. A longtime host of Talkin' Baseball, both on radio and television. Ed, let me ask you, what's your favorite story so far of the 2021 baseball season?
Oh, Ohtani. This is something we haven't seen in our lifetimes. This is extraordinary talent that he is able to throw up to 100 miles an hour and hit 40 home runs. Who would have imagined this? Yeah. I'm just sorry, Jim, that he's playing in the Western Time Zone when we're sleeping in the East and we don't get to see him on a nightly basis. But by far, that is the biggest story for me in 2021.
You and I are both Fordham grads. One of the special moments for me, and I'm sure it might have been for you as well, was watching Fordham Ram graduate Nick Martinez pitching for Team USA in the Olympics. Just a special amount of Ram pride, if you will, right there, Ed.
Great if you bring it up, because I was working for NBC on Olympic baseball, as it so happened. I've stayed in touch with Nick through the years. I had him as a guest on my show when he came to the major leagues with the Texas Rangers. He spent the last 3 years pitching in the Orient, and like you, I was so proud of him, and he pitched so well in the Olympics, and it's just a great kid and a great story for Fordham, unlike playing Nebraskan football.
Yeah, that one got away from the Rams a little early, didn't it?
Yeah.
But they made $500,000.
Yeah, they made $500,000. Yeah, but yeah, the game changed at the anthem.
His name, again, synonymous with baseball and also with prostate cancer awareness. Here it is September, and it's Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Ed Randall, I can't thank you enough for coming on. Details and information on Ed's Fans for the Cure online at fansforthecure.org. And let me close by saying, we all in the course of our lives come into contact. We have an impact on people. You are saving lives. You are really, really impacting lives.
Somebody had to do this. I don't take any credit for this. It's just people are born at 0. I was born at 47. There was something, you got to do something here. And so we're doing it. And I'm so grateful to all the people that have helped me and have helped this organization, most especially our mutual friend, Joe Cosgriff, who's now our director of operations, joined us in January of 20 and has been a gift from God. He's been terrific. And we're out there until there's a cure.
Ed, thanks for your time this morning here on the Jersey Magazine.
Jim, great to be with you on the Jersey Magazine.